What it means to me is a chance for camaraderie, for a lot of female officers to get together and see the female officers from other different jurisdictions, and to realize that there's power in numbers. We don't realize in Chicago that there are a lot of females that are out in other different jurisdictions, and we need to actually get together and talk because commonality is very important.
Well, it means a great deal to me, and it's made a great impact. It's made a great impact in many ways. The keynote speakers have been awesome, and I've always been able to take a little bit of nugget of information from what they provided and use it in my personal and professional life.
The Women of the Shield is an event that's actually pretty special to me. It's the one time a year where local women in law enforcement can get together and socialize and support each other in a very familiar environment. I look forward to this event every year because it allows me to maintain and flourish relationships with other professional women and leaders in this industry.
As a civilian, the Women of the Shield brunch means a time to celebrate women in law enforcement. It's been impactful. I feel empowered when I'm at the brunch and I hear the stories. The last brunch I attended, it made me feel interested in joining law enforcement in some capacity as a clinician. And so, you know, I have this thing about not starting at entry level though, so don't judge me. You know, if I could go right to the FBI stage and, you know, provide some clinical mental health for folks in law enforcement, primarily women, I've been inspired to consider as another career option.
I think the most important way that the events had an impact on me has been just the professional networking. That's always a plus, but I think more importantly, it's been the relationships that I've built, right? Not only for me, but for my agency, for the officers in my agency, and for me. Just the relationships are great, and oftentimes you can have professional networks, but it's the personal networks of just being able to make a phone call will knock down barriers and allow us to do our job better.
Acting Master Sergeant Jacqueline Cepeda, she mentored me when I entered the staff office. She was always available anytime I needed any advice, any assistance, and through that I've grown to respect her. She's always been available when I have any questions or any issues that I need to resolve or work through, and has always given me advice that has been helpful to me.
There were a lot of women that came before me and did a lot of things that allowed me to be able to progress through the ranks. And those women, I look at them now and I don't even understand how they even did it. I know it had to be rough because when I first came on, it was still officers, male officers who did not want to work with a woman. So I know the hell they had to go through. And there were a couple. There was Ernestine McDowell. She was a captain. So when I came on as a lowly patrolman and saw her, I was inspired. She really made me want to take the next step, and she always told us to always take the test. And that's what I do. No matter what test comes up, I will take it.
I was fortunate enough that later on in my career, I was lucky enough to work for Kelly Jackson and Dana Wright. And I say their names because although they have both retired within the last year, I felt that they prepared me on so many levels. And they did exactly what I said earlier about making room at the table, sharing the space at the table, making me comfortable at the table, so that now, even though they're gone, I hear their words, I still feel their actions, and I'm very careful to treat everyone, but especially looking out for other women in my department, the way they looked out for me, that tough love. They told me when to suck it up and put on my big girl pants and get the job done, because there's no room for hesitation when you're a woman trying to make it.
So how this all started was a simple conversation between me and Chief Thomas Phillips with the NIU Police Department.
So Wayne's pretty direct. She said that she wanted to do the event and made me think it was my idea, and which I really appreciated because it made it easier for me to make this happen.
I went to him and I had this bright idea of wanting to create some type of celebration for women in law enforcement during Women's History Month. A simple brunch. It was originally supposed to be for DeKalb County, just the women in DeKalb County. So I had a conversation with one of my mentors who told me about an event that she was doing, and she encouraged me to do one of my own. I didn't necessarily think that the event would be something that would flourish in the area and the capacity that I was in.
Actually, before the brunch even came about, Wayne and I had several conversations about her desire to highlight or do something to recognize and empower women in law enforcement. And so we just had several talks about what something like that could look like. And so once she actually made it happen, it was something that I wanted to be a part of.
Everything that Wayne's done has been a success, and I felt pride. I felt very proud that she had done this, and I knew it would grow.